Are you feeling overwhelmed with the amount of tasks that work and life have thrown at you? Or do you struggle with balancing your personal life with your professional aspirations? If you're nodding your head, then you're in the right place. In this video, I'll be discussing how to fix your chronic overwhelm with prioritization. Now, it's time to accept that you can't do everything, and prioritization is the process of embracing the limits of your time and energy. Ultimately, this will free yourself from the expectation that you have to do it all and finally take back control of your life. So let's dive into the best ways to prioritize your life when there's always more to do. And I'm gonna break this video down into 3 parts. So the 3 things to prioritize, the 3 things to deprioritize, and then from there we'll go in depth into my top 5 strategies and tactics to build out your own prioritization system. So let's get into the 3 things worth prioritizing. Now, these will vary from person to person, but I can almost guarantee if you don't do these 3, your life and productivity can fall apart quickly. So first thing is our health and fitness, and instead of giving you a speech on why you should be healthy, understand that your health underpins your productivity. And here is a quick visual I'll pull up, but the bottom line is that you need a strong health foundation in order to be your most productive. The second is sleep and rest. And I know a lot of you sometimes work late into the night to get that project or a bunch of tasks done. And this can be a massive problem. If you neglect sleep, you will run into a host of different issues like impaired learning, hormone imbalance, and unstable emotions. So I'm not telling you when to sleep, just know that get enough throughout the week. The third thing to prioritize is productive work. Now, this might sound obvious, but what isn't always obvious is what actually qualifies as productive work. Now, obviously, most of you watching this are looking to get ahead in your career or life, but there is a difference between working hard and working smart. And ultimately, you have to work more strategically. And I'll unpack this quickly with this workplace analogy. Do you ever feel like you're going 100 miles per hour while standing in the same spot? So at the end of the day, there's tons of things crossed off your to-do list, but nothing really seems to push the needle in terms of your goals and aspirations. I think we've all been there before. And this comes up when you fail to be intentional with your growth and prioritize high impact tasks and projects. So ask yourself this: does this task or project help me 1, learn new skills, 2, challenge myself, or 3, take me out of my comfort zone? If the answer to any of these is yes, then it's a really good chance that you want to prioritize this. And in the third part of this video, I'll give you an actual system on how to do this. Now let's flip things over and talk about things you should deprioritize. These are things that are going to hold you back, decrease your productivity, and increase overwhelm. Ultimately, you're going to want to push these to the bottom of your to-do list. So the first thing is to deprioritize excessive social media and entertainment. There's only so many hours in the day, and it's the most valuable commodity we have. Once it's gone, we never get it back. And as we all know, social media can be a massive time waster. So deprioritize the time you spend scrolling through Instagram or reading Reddit so you can focus on quality time and meaningful work or finishing off that personal project you've been pushing off. The second thing you want to deprioritize is busy work. And my definition of busy work can be summed up by tasks that we do every day or every week that fill out our calendar, but fail to move us forward. And now I'm talking about tasks like sorting your email inbox, messages in team chat, repetitive admin work, and urgent last-minute requests. So what are the strategies to get rid of busy work? Let's solve this real quick. 1, you can delegate or outsource. You might be able to completely delegate to others within your company, organization, or maybe you're able to outsource to a freelancer you can find on Fiverr or Upwork. Number 2 is you can automate tasks, and this is especially powerful in the digital space with an app called Zapier. I'll do an entire video on this, or maybe an entire series on this in the near future, but it helps me save hours per week, and it basically can automate repetitive administrative tasks you find yourself doing over and over again. For example, like transferring data or client info into different apps, or notifying your team about new leads, or even moving files from your cloud storage. The third way to beat busy work is you can constrain those busy work tasks. For those low leverage tasks, you really need to limit the amount of time you spend on them. An example is checking your email once or twice a day at a specific designated time versus checking your emails multiple times throughout the day sporadically. The fourth way to beat busy work is just learn how to say no. And I know it's a lot easier said than done, but the word no can save you hours per week. Those 4 tips alone can cut out at least half of your busy work. Again, busy work is something that needs to be deprioritized. Now, the third thing that needs to be deprioritized is negativity. Our minds are designed to fixate on the negative. From a scientific standpoint, we have a cognitive bias that many times prevents us from seeing reality clearly. The time and mental energy we spend dwelling on situations outside of our control can really hinder our productivity. And the same goes for doubting our abilities and comparing ourselves to others. And it's just a form of self-sabotage. The two solutions here are: one, monitor your inner self-talk, and this is going to require you to have a high level of self-awareness. In this case, negativity can come from an internal source, and you have to keep your thoughts in check. So negative thoughts creeping in, ask yourself, is this something that I might say to a close friend or family? In most cases, it's probably not. The second way to deal with negativity is have empathy. When negativity is coming from an external source, like when people say or do hurtful things, it can be a result of their own problems. Be firm with the people who bring negativity into your life and remove yourself from those negative situations. If you can stay away from excessive social media, busy work, and negativity, you can start opening up more time and mental energy for what matters most. Okay, so let's change gears completely, and now that you know what to prioritize and what to deprioritize, the next step is, how do you actually prioritize those tasks and projects? So let's get into my top 5 tactical strategies to ensure your priorities rise to the top no matter how busy life gets. And the first strategy is to capture all of your tasks and projects in one central place. The busyness of life causes things to stack up quickly. Your to-do list gets super long, you might have a ton of work requests, then you might have a ton of ideas for your new projects, and the list really is endless here. With all the things going on, it makes it really hard to prioritize everything because it's scattered. And here's the solution. If you can collect all of your tasks and projects in one place, it makes it a lot easier to prioritize them. There are a ton of different project and task management apps out there like Trello, Asana, ClickUp, and Todoist, just to name a few. I personally use Trello, but you can pick any of these. Once you have the productivity tool, you need a system to process those tasks, and I have videos on how to do that, and I'll link those in the description below. And I have an entire productivity starter kit that walks you through this step by step. It's free and it's linked in the description below as well. But most important thing to do here is to get into the habit of capturing all of your to-dos throughout each day into one place. Once you have the system to capture and organize, your overwhelm will start decreasing. The second strategy to prioritize your tasks is to stay focused by eliminating distractions. And I know I talked about this earlier in the video with social media, but you really have to reduce the need to check social media all the time. Now, there are a ton of different apps that you can use to block out distractions. And the one I like the most is called Freedom, and it's for Mac, Windows, Android, and iPhone. And this is how it works. Pretty much you select which device you want, then you choose the sites and apps to block. From there you set a schedule and you're good to go. You can also plan your focus time on the fly too and start a focus session whenever you want. Now, this app is going to prevent you from even accessing those time-wasting apps and sites, which will redirect your focus back to getting productive work done. Tip number 3 is don't fall for shiny object syndrome. And if there's one thing on this list that I'm guilty of, it's this. And I had the best ways to deal with this too. Many times, being successful or productive can become boring and often routine. And at this point, shiny object syndrome can kick in and distract your attention from the main focus. We all know that you can't just jump from trend to trend and project to project, and here is my solution. Filter your shiny object or idea through these 2 questions. 1, does this idea, task, or project directly correlate to my current goals for this month, quarter, or year? And then 2, do I have the time or bandwidth and resources to accomplish this without interfering with what I already have planned? If the answer to that is no, then that's something that's not actionable. But let's not throw this idea away completely. Chances are it might be a great idea, but it's something that's not actionable right now. In this case, you're going to want to put it on your maybe someday list. And that is a list of ideas that you want to save for later use that are not actionable right now, but might be in the future. Again, you're not going to throw away the idea, but you can put it on your maybe someday list and revisit that list later in time when you have more time or resources to actually execute it. So make a maybe someday list, and when you see that new shiny object, put it in your maybe someday list and keep moving forward with the tasks and projects at hand. The fourth strategy to prioritize your tasks is the Eisenhower priority matrix. Basically, this is a tool to help you figure out what to do next and really prioritize all of your tasks and projects quickly. And I'll put up the graphic to explain this, and I've talked about this on my channel a lot, so I'll be brief here. Now, what you're gonna do is take all of your to-do lists and projects and filter them through this matrix. And there are two axes here, one with urgency and one with importance. So if something is important and urgent, do it. If something is important but not urgent, plan it. If something is not important but urgent, delegate it or automate it. And if something is not important and not urgent, delete it altogether. I have an entire video that deep dives into the Eisenhower matrix, and I'll link that in the card above and description below. This is one of the most powerful tools I use when it comes to prioritization. The fifth and final strategy to prioritize your tasks is to utilize the time blocking method. This goes off the fact that time, again, is finite. We only have so much time to get things done and be productive, and it forces us to prioritize the time we have available. The time blocking method forces you to plan your day hour by hour and batching similar tasks together. And here's a quick and dirty way to implement this time blocking method. First, you're going to want to start off by making a to-do list for the day. Ideally, you're pulling those tasks from your project management software or paper planner. Second is categorize your tasks into similar blocks. Third is estimate how long it will take to complete each task. And a pro tip here is to add 20% extra time because we tend to underestimate how long it takes to get something done. Fourth is add each time block to your calendar. And fifth is to actually get to work with your time blocks. Now, on top of that, the sixth step is adjust your time blocks as needed. Things aren't going to always go as planned, and we need to be able to adjust on the fly. Once you're able to do those six, you should be good to go with time blocking. Now, if you want a complete walkthrough with time blocking, I have a few videos on this, and I'll link that in the description below. And I also have a free time blocking starter kit that's free. It's in the description as well, and it's going to walk you through everything you need to know to get started with time blocking and save you hours per week. This is a skill set that once mastered can really skyrocket your productivity. So click here to watch the video on time blocking, and until next time, stay productive.